manito, 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 manito. They're in the truck. They're in the truck. All right, let's just start like this. Let's just start like this. One might ask, what is tethered blood? What is tethered blood? So, what is black blood? What is white blood? Quantum blood. Eugenics blood, pretty much, right? From my understanding, tethered is an observation of certain behaviors, certain characteristics of, it could be characteristics of you looking like them, and they're confused. They're like, "Are you African, or are you Black American?" So they're trying to distinguish. If you're a tether, which means an African immigrant, or anybody trying to what they call cosplay them. So again, this is not rooted in science. This isn't rooted in this isn't rooted in anything in particular. It's an observable thing that they get to decide. They got the discernment, or they got the discretion. It's at their discretion whether you're a tether or not. So again, not scientifically rooted, or this isn't like it's not in the dictionary. It's not maybe in the Urban Dictionary. Maybe it's there. Maybe some FBA put it in there. I can describe it better than I can. So yeah, they're just observable behaviors, but they just can't tell if you're one of them or an African. So once they find out you're an African, you're a tether, pretty much. I know that's not what they like to admit, but that's the fact. That's the fact. As soon as you have any affinity to Africa, you are a tether. So again, some would say, no, it's just your behavior. It's just, how you try to, cosplay us, or how you try to be like us, how you listen to our music, how you listen to our artists, how you eat our food. So it could be all that, but it also could just be if you disrespect one of them, right? If you don't, if you disrespect a FBA, you're considered a tether as well. So it's a very big spectrum of what a tether actually means. That's why I play around with the first question, because I have my own interpretation of it. It's pretty genius, by the way, because they like to call Africans tethers, and so you have to remind them that their ancestors are Africans. You have to remind them that it's on their official website that their ancestors, the people that they descend from, the people they want to delineate from, which they can never really delineate from them. That's why it's a process. That's why delineation is never going to end. We always ask, like, how long is this process going to take? Can you hurry up and delineate already so you don't have to be mad that you're African, But so it's not going to end. And so yeah, I just like to casually remind them that they're still African. So they're still, if they're calling anyone tethers, they're tethered to Africa, whether they like it or not. They're also tethered to the white former slave masters, definitely tethered to them, because they speak their rhetoric, they speak like them, they spew the same xenophobic kind of hatred. So they're tethered on both sides. They're tethered on both sides, and we're playing a tug of war right now, We're playing tug of war back and forth. Which one's gonna win, the Africans or the Europeans? So soon enough we'll find out, with all this tension, with all this tug of war shit going on, all this tethering going on, you feel me? So just one drop. It only takes one drop of tether, to create an FBA. You know what I mean? So I know it's kind of a play on with the one drop rule, but it's not quite the one drop rule, because you guys got to remember, the one drop rule was a Eurocentric hierarchy, right? Where they believed that they were the purebred, that they were pure, the racist ideology that they can't mix with anybody or else they would be diluted, they'd be tainted. So that they can, this is like the Blue Vein Society and stuff like that, right? Like where they had to prove, that they were full on white tea. So what they did is the rule was the one drop rule. If you had one drop of black blood, you would be outcasted and you would be non-white, essentially, right? Or you'd just be black. Just, that one drop, that 1%, that's all it took to dilute their pureness and to cast you as a black member of society, That's all it took for the white tea man, okay? And so that's why they went kind of hard with categorizing Black Americans, and having people like quadroons and mulattoes and so because they were really gauging the percentile of your blood, and how much of either one, right, the black or the white blood you had, and then they can treat you as such, right? And even when they were selling slaves on the auction block, the mulattoes, the biracials, right, or the quadroons were worth more money on the auction block than the, average black brother and sister, melanin intact, unbroken. They would always, we were always cheaper to them. They didn't see the value in that. They always saw the value in the mixing. Kind of like, like the purebred dogs and the mixing breeds and the pedigrees. Like same shit. There's no difference. So that's the way the Eurocentric mind works, and that's how he categorized, unfortunately, Black people in America. And in a lot of instances, this is still carried forward, with like our mentality and how we see each other, and this super unique lineage that FBA's claim to have, which is like a mix of white, a mix of Native American, and of course the African one that they don't want to recognize as much or put up, at the forefront. They like to delineate away from that. No problem delineating away from Europeans or their native ancestry. So yeah, that's what the first question is about. I know I'm only talking to myself, but I'm gonna repeat that. I'm gonna re-listen to this because I haven't really asked myself this question. I put the question up. Obviously, I've thought about it, but I wanted to think about it a little deeper and remind myself why I put it up. So, yeah, for those of you that were not there, I was saying that that the tether thing, the tether blood, I was trying to break down what that is, or in my own thoughts about what I think that means. And I broke down what tether meant. Tether means a lot of different things. Like it has an etymology root to it, which means like bound to, like tied down to, right? You're tied down to something. That's what tethered meant. And then interestingly enough, another sister came up here, a Black American sister, and she was describing how tethered was used back when her grandfather was around in the South, and how YT people use the word tethered. And for them, the YT people would say, let's go tether us a N-word, That's how they would describe it. They would actually say, let's go tether us a N-word. Let's go tether that N-word. So for this term, that is, or this word that is given terms, like given a definition, and we like to redefine terms. FBAs didn't go too far to redefine anything new. This shit was already used, okay? And it was used in the most demeaning, dehumanizing way, okay? So I appreciate that sister for telling me that, because I would have never known that. And how now that we get to recycle this tether babble, to be racist and to humanize their own African brothers and sisters. So, full circle. It's disgusting, But anyways, FBAs like to categorize people as tethers based on observation, based off of what they say. They get confused. When they see an African, they're like, is he a Black American? Or is he one of them Africans? And so they can't really tell, right? And again, let me remind you guys too, this also comes from the movie Us. A lot of this vocabulary, the tethers, right? And if you know what the movie, if you know the plot, everything. There was an upper class and a lower class of people, and they had doppelgangers, right? Another word that they love to use from that movie. And these doppelgangers are pretty much their complete copy of them that live in an underworld. And so this family, this Black American family, had a tether family in the underworld. And so as a baby, I believe the tethers are the second class, right? And then the normal family is up top in the first class. And so the little girl found herself up top and switching places with a real girl. Real girl went down to the tethered world. And so that's how it starts. And then it plays out as this tethered girl in the real world playing as the real girl. I forget her name. But the actor's Lupita. It's funny because Lupita is African too, But she plays the role of a Black American woman with a Black American family. Her Africanness was never brought up in the movie, She played the role as a Black American woman. And that's probably why FBAs are mad at her too. But Anyways, so that's another reference of the movie. I had to watch it again, to tell you the truth, because I didn't understand. I didn't understand it all, all this babble. But now I understand it on a deeper level. And I have another prompt that kind of like speaks on that movie, specifically to this word tethered, and how they've taken it out of context, because nowhere in the movie was there a reference to African people or any of this. But that's neither here or there. I just wanted to give you another example of where that word came from. And obviously we know who popularized it and made it into what it is today. But back to what FBAs believe, right? They believe that as soon as they find out if you're African or not, I think that's when you become a tether. Also, if you cosplay them, right? So cosplaying is you talk like them, you act like them, you use AAVE, or like what they like to call it, Ebonics. You eat some of their soul food. So any characteristic that you might have that is a Black American, and they find out you're African, you're a tether, okay? Also, tether can also mean that you said something disrespectful to them, You might have you might have had an argument with them, You might have had a disagreement with them. You're a tether, okay? Automatically, all right? So it's not scientifically based. It's not even defined in the dictionary. I mean, besides its etymological term, right? As in bound to something. But, and maybe now the Urban Dictionary, right? But it's nothing that, how can I put it? It's nothing that's, foundational in the term and how it's used and all of that. So again, I like to remind them that they're always going to be tethered to their Africanness, whether they like it or not, because FBA's claim that Africans are their ancestors, that they are descended from Africans. As much as they want to delineate from them, they can't. They're tethered to them. They're also tethered upward to their former white slave masters. So they talk like them. They use the same words as them to demean and dehumanize people. They copy their swag. They cosplay white people. They cosplay their YT slave masters, former YT slave masters, or maybe present. Who knows? So you got a little tug of war going on with these. You got the tethered battle. You got the Africans pulling on one side, you got the Europeans pulling on the other, right? And then the FBAs are in the middle. And so this tug of war, we don't know who's going to win this big fight. But we'll find out. Oh, Sister Smart. Sorry, Sister Smart. I didn't see you. So again, it's just based off of observable things that they find. How's it going, Sister Smart? Welcome to the panel.
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I just took a nice walk, and I'm just talking to myself on my live.
I just did that. I just had one too. And I couldn't find my moderators, and I'm like, whatever.
Exactly. I feel like I should just talk to myself though, because it's like it's good to talk to yourself sometimes and remind yourself like what's going on. I don't always want to hear other people's opinions. So
who? Well,
Yeah, I know. Believe me.
And I came up there going in on them people trying to go off. I think you left. Whatever panel that was.
Which one was this?
When they were trying to say, what are you, brother, you.
Oh, you know what? I was there. Yes, when the guy was calling me white. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, who? You don't even know him. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you, sister. Well, I don't even talk back to them, if they want to think what they want to think, but it's whatever. I think he was so
I don't even know who the fuck it was. I just after a while, I leave because they grind my gears, and you always sitting up here talking about shit. That's what I had on my live just a little bit ago. I came up with a prompt. What is the or else? I heard Minister Farrakhan did a thing on that years ago, and it's true. What is the or else? If we, okay, for reparations, okay, you don't give it to us. Okay, What's the or else? If black people don't have or
Right.
else, you're not gonna get shit. Because you can beg, you can argue, you can. If these Neanderthals
Yeah.
ain't gonna give it to you, they ain't gonna give it to you. So what's the or else? If you don't put that in place and say, okay, if you guys don't give us reparations, we're not gonna do this, 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 and this. We never have an or else. Never.
Right. Right.
And that's how you know Tariq ain't shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because there's no or else with him either. Or, anytime when white people ain't checking for you and trying to bring you down, you are not about black people. That's the main key litmus test. That's the litmus
That's
test.
so true.
Same thing. Dr. Umar. Wasn't nobody checking for him either. He can get on there and talk all the Prince of Pan-African. He can do this, he can do that. What? Because they got about the short hairs about the money for the school, and he ain't doing nothing but talking shit to us. He ain't on CNN. He ain't on, when these black folks, white folks ain't checking for him, they ain't talking about shit.
Yeah, facts. And Dr. Umar wasn't even talking bad about the Queens because the Queens were funding him.
Thank you.
But I mean, that was his main target. That was his audience, But you're right, sister. They already probably got the bag, so now they're just being neutral or like keeping the peace, or not trying to aggravate the white teeth. So they already got the bag. I remember Tariq Nasheed. He's like, I'll send you the video. He's like, oh, y'all don't even know. The white tea man tried to give me a big old bag to go on TV and drag the Africans, But I didn't do that, he says.
Oh, you bitch.
But it's like exactly what he's doing,
Exactly.
But it says, if you're you got so their or slam is like, or we'll go back with the Africans. So they're trying to appeal to them by saying they're separating and delineating away from the rest of the continent so that they can seem more appealing to the white tea man. Like, okay, all right, we don't have to pay out everybody.
Right.
We can just pay out, our property that we owe to.
Yeah.
So all this is about that check. All this is about that check, and it's so sad because look at what we're doing for money. As soon as they hear that, they're willing to pay out. But again, they don't have their or, like you said, sister, and that was. They don't have their or. Their or is with us. Their or
they ain't gonna never do shit.
They already gave us. Yeah. They're just like, don't talk about us. Don't.
Right. And some of these people on here, it's a few different folk got up there and talked a little black stuff, but then I noticed it's like you're saying, cosplaying like y'all use all the time. They'll do that until that bag, them likes and them gifts and them galaxies dry up. Them motherfuckers is right back, talking shit for the white man. You know what I'm saying? One creator in particular, and I won't say their name, but was heavy on the Carmelo Anthony thing. And then he was like, I got up there one day and he's like, well, race, we're not bringing up race. Race has nothing to do with. I said, wait a minute. Wow. Wait a minute. You fucking telling me race has nothing to do with the Carmelo Anthony case when you monkey? We wouldn't even be discussing it if he had did it to another black boy.
Exactly. It wouldn't have been a thing.
Are you serious right now? It's all about race.
All that fundraising money, all that GoFundMe money that the white tea family raised and then shitted on the black family when they raised money. Like, tell me that isn't all race-based.
Thank you. Look at that white woman raised over $1 million for dogging out a little black child.
For the little boy.
Yes. You can make $1 million talking about us. If I got on here and talked about all kind of Peckerwood, Neanderthal, blah blah blah, how much money am I gonna get? $2?
Right.
We can't do the same thing. If
Exactly.
we do exactly what they do, we will not make a dime. Cause you have more Negroes on here going off on you. Why
Yeah.
you saying that about white people? Why are you bringing that up? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they're more on
It's
code with white people when they're on code,
thank
and
you.
we can't get on code.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. We got more of
No.
our own people fighting us. And like I told this one guy, well, he said, well, the reason why I want us to stick with the legalities, the law. And I said, brother, justice is blind, but she can sure in the hell smell black people. Okay, how in the hell, with the history we've had in this country, can you tell me that the law, if we just follow the law, then
Oh
everything
my
will be
God, we had this
fine?
conversation yesterday. Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you?
we
What
had that
happened?
conversation with 808, that sister. We were on Uncle Moose's
No,
panel.
I
Oh,
don't
okay. You know
remember
Uncle
these people.
Moose?
I kinda,
I know
I
there's
really,
so many. There's so many. He's an African brother too. He goes hard against FBAs. But
okay.
anyways, there was just some, people that we've talked to before,
Uh-huh.
and we don't. It's kind of like you and Sheik. Remember, you talk to him for a minute, and you guys get along, and you guys see eye to eye on some things. Remember when he started talking to you about him being from here in America? You're like, oh, this is where we're gonna have to split.
Right.
Remember that, brother? Remember that?
Uh-huh.
He's my Moorish brother. He cool.
Right.
But there's just some things that you guys aren't going to see eye to eye with. So in this case, it
Right.
was them talking about how we should just follow the law, and if you get pulled over by the cop, that you
Oh,
submit, and you don't want to make it difficult for them, And we're like, what are you like? What did Rosa Parks do? Like, you have
right.
obviously you pick your battles, obviously, but you're
Of course.
just you're not just cooperating. And they were like, well, if the cop's racist, why are you gonna and I'm like, that's why people get payouts and things. You prove things, you go to court.
Right.
There's case law that if this situational thing that happened with this person happened again, they can go back to a case law and see like how to act accordingly, or how a cop should act in these kind of similar situations. So we set the tone for how laws are shaped, and what cops get away with and what cops don't get away with. So pretty much just saying like and so these people are talking about, but we got kids and we want to make it back to our kids. Like, some of us have jobs
Well,
and
these,
families, and
well, them motherfuckers don't
but they
care. You
act
can
like
have your hands at 10 and 2, and you still might not get home.
exactly.
Look at
Yeah, you go
Philando
exact. That's what we
Castile.
were saying.
He told the cop,
Yeah.
sir, I have a registered firearm. It is in the glove compartment. I am getting the gun out. I'm letting you know. And that motherfucker, bam! Time he put his hand on
Yeah,
the glove
exactly.
compartment. He did everything
Well, yeah.
properly. We can speak well. We can have the right clothes on. We can sir,
Exactly.
yes, sir, no, sir. And they still
Never enough.
hit you. Never. So need to grows that think like that, to me, then you just gone. Because, no, we're not saying jump out the car, oh, motherfucker, would you? Of course
Right.
not. We know that.
Right.
But when we do follow to the letter of the law, we've still been unalived.
Right. That's why they're forced to wear body cams, and even then, they still find a fucking way to turn them off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or
Mm-hmm.
leave
So
it out
what
of
you gonna do?
evidence.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just a coon. And Massa is we sick. That's why I always say that.
Yeah, and it's funny because these are the same brothers and sisters we've been talking with against
Right.
FBAs and against
Right.
all this stuff, and come to find out they have
They
these other
coons.
views that you're not gonna.
Mhm.
yeah, that we're not up and we're
Hmm.
not seeing the same thing, so
And see, even with
it's
the
really.
Moors, that Moor Science Temple
Mhm.
shit, I have worked on political campaigns where the white tea folks paid the Moor Science Temple brothers to go around and harass black people at polling places. So
Oh
you can't
wow.
fucking tell me about no more. And the Moors, if you go back and do your due diligence, who the fuck were they? You got to
Right,
look
that's
at
what's
a lot of them
unraveling
was
with all
warring
this.
factions that was paid off that was what that wasn't even black. Okay,
Exactly.
so people need to
Yeah,
do their
I'm
due
not
diligence.
exactly. Yeah,
You
just like
know,
any other organization.
thank you, thank you. More Science Temple. Then you got the
Hmm.
when I got into it on one thing talking about the Masons. Because there are what's called, so you will notice too, is 4-letter Masons and 3-letter Masons. The 4-letter Masons are the white
Yeah.
Masons. The 3-letter Masons, the Prince Hall
Mm.
Masons, are the 3-letter Masons. You see what I'm saying? They steal everything from us.
Right.
So you can't even
It's
what
all the
they
knowledge that they
those.
keep. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, sister. I think I'm
No.
lagging. I think I'm lagging because it
Oh,
doesn't talk right at the thing. No, no, no.
okay.
Go ahead. 33. You said 33 degrees or 3 degrees, 4 degrees. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, it's three
I was
letter
just adding
Masons.
to it.
Those are the black ones. Yeah, the black ones, the Prince Hall Masons.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then you have 4-letter Masons that are the white Masons. You see what I'm saying? And it's
Mm-hmm.
always it's our stuff, but then they take our shit and copy it and do whatever, And for those people that don't know no
And then
better,
we.
you know, damn. That's
Yeah.
why all
And
these
they
need
leave
to
us with
go.
less letters.
Yes. Well, we don't
We
need
got
as
less
many.
letters.
But we were the
Oh, okay.
original
So the
letters.
less letters, the better in the Masonic thing. Is that
Yeah.
how it goes?
Those are
Because
the
I don't
black
know anything.
ones.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And those are the
Those are the
original
black ones.
Masons. Is that why?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then here come the white folks.
And some of our presidents and all the people in political seats and all that, they're all part of that shit too, right? That's why the
Yeah,
Moors too.
Masons.
The whole thing with the Fez and all of that
Right.
like kind of gets convoluted with all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. 'Cause somebody just told me the people who were the feds were the eunuchs, was the ones they cut their dick off already. For the love of God.
Oh,
I'll have
during
to
the
look that
Ottoman
up.
during the
Hmm.
Ottoman Empire.
Hmm.
During the
And some
Ottoman
of them,
Empire. Yeah, yeah.
right. And them, or some of those, I just heard a brother do a thing. I need to start writing these people down. He did the breakdown on the Moors, how that they were these warring factions of people that were going around taking shit and warring all the time. And that's where they came from. So to put that on black people and as Africans, they weren't. A lot of them were more the Arab, Middle Eastern motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
I am
And
just
this is
gonna
the
go and
separation
figure
between
it out.
those people. They say those are the separation between those people and the Moors that were in Spain, right? Because those were
Right.
black
Well,
Muslim
some of the
folks
ones in
that
Spain.
that built pretty much Europe.
Oops.
Right, right. That's why I'm
I'm
always
sorry. Some of
confused.
them.
Oh, you got a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
No, you good. You
That's
good.
why I'm gonna get that straight.
Those. That's
Yeah.
why I'm always fascinated by them saying that they were here in America, and don't.
No, they weren't. You gotta let.
Sorry,
My
I got a
thing
call
is
too.
do a
Hold on, I'll be back.
timeline.
Sorry, sister. I got a phone
Oh,
call.
no worries. No, what I was saying is you have to do a timeline. And when you do a timeline of human history and stuff, you'll start seeing where that shit is broken down and they look like idiots. Because if the oldest bones in the Americas, and that's North, Central, and South America, is 23,000 years old. Okay. And then you go back to us and we're hundreds of thousands of years old. Then who was here first? Who begot who? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even white tea people only been around for 8,000 years. So for you to go too much past that, they wasn't even around as a race. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
That's that hominid or whatever that we all got in common. But then when white tea folks broke off, that's where that Neanderthal blood come in. Them and Asian people. If you do the timeline, then it just shows you
Right.
where people were. You didn't create anything. You didn't build anything. It was a hoax. And I brought that up on a panel today. English people wanted to be wanted to say human human life was in England. Do you know they took a monkey's jawbone and attached it to a human skull and tried to say that it's some hoax. I forget the name of it. And then when they did the carbon dating, the jawbone had a different timeline from the human skull.
Yeah, DNA.
And it was a hoax.
The carbon dating. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're not. Yeah. They always lying and trying to be. You're not the center of civilization, boo-boo kitty. Y'all can lie and try to what they build? Stonehenge. Just them few rocks sitting up against each other. What the fuck? That's all y'all got?
That inferiority complex is why it's seriously jealousy. It's jealousy. That's where all the racism comes in.
Exactly.
And them needing us more than we would ever need them for anything.
Exactly. Like they said, capitalism and white supremacy got to have an N word. They got to have one. I kind of look at the Mexicans on the new N words right about now. The way they treat them.
And the Somalis.
They always got to have one. Huh? You say what?
Well, the new N word. I said the Somalis now too. The new N word, sister, is illegal.
Right.
That's the new N word. They could easily say undocumented, but
right.
And you know what, sister smart. Now the term illegal now is so they didn't fucked up and turned the word immigrant as something negative because now the FBA can't. You call me an immigrant? Immigrants? I'm not an immigrant.
Oh my God.
Immigrant now is a word that's offensive, when it was just a general word. Saying that we migrated, that people immigrant.
Right.
Yeah. And they say we're not immigrants. We were taken and brought here. We're not immigrants.
Well, we're not, but I mean, I look at Trump. Trump's parents were immigrants. His two wives were immigrants.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's just like they took the word woke. Basically, that means black at this
point.
Oh,
and so that's what I'm saying, sister. That's what I'm saying. They get to redefine the terms at their liking.
Yes.
So immigrant now means the people that came in the 80s and a certain timeline. Right. This is how they want to use the word immigrant. Like it doesn't mean migration. Like it doesn't mean you migrated from one place to another. Now they want to give it a specific people, and it's really just an act. It's an act. So maybe you didn't come with the wave of immigrants that were allowed to come here in America, but you migrated here with your former slave master,
Right.
and you came here with them.
Okay.
You know, so you
And
both
look at where all the white
yeah.
ones at. You notice it's always the black and the brown immigrant. You know, how many Ukrainians in this bitch? You know,
I was
how many
just reading
Russians?
off that.
Yeah. How many
We're not-
Russians? How many Russian immigrants we got? They don't
and
never mention
so
none of them.
that's what Sister Smart, they love to use the Civil Rights Act as in like something they allow to happen. You guys
Right.
don't have authority of who comes in
No.
and who comes out.
Out of this
You
country.
didn't mind when the wave of European illegal migrants flooded
Thank
you know, and the white
Thank
tea
you.
woman, right? She got even rights before all
Thank
the
you.
last people got allowed here, and you're dehumanizing and coming down, punching down on black and brown folks coming in. Lastly,
Right.
you know, so it
It's
is
waiting for us. Motherfucker, you didn't write immigration law. Are you kidding
Right.
me? You know, that's what with them that kills me. And the main thing, Vibes, what fucking power do you have? It's power.
Right.
We can talk about
We don't
influence.
run
We can
shit.
talk about our culture. We can talk about when they unalived that brother last year that they knew was innocent. What FBA, what black motherfucker had the power to stop it from happening?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. No real power. Yeah.
No real power.
No power to stop anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
If white folks want
we
to
can
have
raise some money. We can
right.
we can have our
march,
protest
we can
sign.
pray. But when it comes down to it, you know, unless we get way more organized, what my live was saying when I said, what is the or else? If Carmelo Anthony gets found guilty and gets locked up next year, what the fuck we gonna do? I'm not saying
When
we can't have no power, but on the real, what could we do?
That's why they're dragging this out, sister. They already have the video that they can only show in that state that proves what happened, and they're not willing to release that to the rest of the world so everybody can see. You know, I think it was Cat Williams that had talked about watching it and describing it, but it's all very obvious. And you think that nobody else recorded that shit? All those kids everybody having a phone, they covered that shit up nice and sweet,
real
you know?
good. They got a whole year to do it. And then they figured niggas
and all their
won't
parents.
be mad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and there isn't as much outrage as there should be. You know what I mean? Because people want to play that we shouldn't bring race into this.
Right. That's stupid shit.
Yeah.
When that nigga Tegro said that shit on that panel, I went off on his ass and I said, oh yeah, maybe you will get a galaxy for that. And I got off the damn panel. You stupid motherfucker.
That's facts. That's facts.
You know.
He was definitely begging at that point.
Yeah, you want a galaxy. Or I don't even know what the fuck all them mean. You know.
He was tap dancing. You know.
That's all. How else could you not? In the way, how many white folks hung juries, the motherfuckers that unalived Emmett Till. You know what I'm saying? Hung juries.
Right. Remember we wanted to go after her too at her old ass ripe age, and they still didn't lock her up.
No.
We tried to lock her up, but she's a old, let her live out her life, you know.
Fuck that bitch. I wouldn't get. They locked Cosby's old ass up, didn't they? That motherfucker blind and can't see and old as a fuck, and they locked his ass up.
Yeah, they made an example out of him for sure.
Thank you. Because he wanted to buy NBC. That's when all his fucking troubles got started. You know, unalived Mike, because he owned the fucking Beatles catalog. You know, all that shit. He had money coming out the ass. And they like, well, goddamn. How did he beat us on that? The
Masters, Elvis, he had all of them.
Yes. They was like, oh, no, this need to grow, got to go.
Yeah, and we can't even save our own artists that we talk so much shit to everyone
Thank you.
about. Like our greatest, we created this, we created that. Well, we can't protect them. We
You
cannot
sure
protect
can't.
any of these people that are
And you
so
don't
great.
own shit.
When you don't own shit,
White
exactly.
folks still got all their catalogs,
So
still got all their
so
shit.
that's why Sister Smart, they use the present administration and the whole deportation thing, because they don't run ICE. They're not Homeland Security, so they're up here talking
Mm-mm.
about go back home, and we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
call ICE on you. That's the only kind of like slave catcher mentality rhetoric
Right.
that they could say to feel some kind of control and to enact fear into
Right.
everybody, you know.
You're right.
And it's just so
And they won't even hardly hire
demoralizing.
your black ass to be an ICE agent. I'm willing to bet. It ain't that many need to grow ICE agents.
Right.
They're
That's
not
true.
gonna
There's
give
more
you.
sellout Mexicans, like Mexican
Thank
Americans,
you.
Mexican MAGAs, that
Right.
that and that's what it is. They have the buffer class of folks that are sellouts, and that's how they get the
Yep.
job done. That's how, and
Yep.
they do it within the black community too,
They
So
certainly
like that's
do.
what the FBAs are pretty much.
Or for fucking asshole. And all them coconuts, that's what they call the damn Mexican sellouts.
Exactly.
Coconuts,
The no
brown
sabos.
on the outside and white on the inside.
Yeah, the Oreos. We got the biracial. Same
Oreos.
shit. Same shit.
Yep.
They think it's
Always
such a
one.
genius idea. It is kind of genius, but I mean, we see right through it. Some people want to call it
Yeah.
patriotism, but it's really patriotism
No,
masked.
it's not.
It's racism masked as
It's
patriotism.
racism. And that's what they're trying to do, make it seem like it's like plausible. Like, hey guys, let's talk about this. This really isn't, that Charlie Kirk shit. That's the way I see it. Make it racism great again.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like we said, white nationalists and blackface, and the only thing is
Right.
we got black people putting on blackface on top of their blackface
Yes.
to do these minstrel shows, because that's all they're doing.
That's
They're acting out, and they're doing this for the attention of white folks, so they can go pick me.
Yes.
I'm not like the rest.
Candace Owens.
Yeah,
Candace Owens.
exactly.
And she getting her ass shown. Bitch, you can go up against Erica Kirk if you want to. They just cosplaying each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this bitch on here talking about an assassin, and she didn't got paperwork that French assassins coming for her. Bitch, if they wanted you dead, bitch, you be dead.
Yeah. That dude Nick Fuentes, when they had their interview, he called her a fucking house Negro and a coon.
He sure did. And a coon. I was hollering. Here this bitch thought she really got the ego, the balls of a brass monkey. I swear to God. She really thinks she's that fucking important.
Facts. After Donald Trump dumped her ass, she was lost.
Right.
Started
But she
at
know
the
what she
coattails.
doing.
Charlie Kirk
Right.
took
She probably effed him back in the
You
day
see,
because
yeah. Did you see that one sister from UK who's a sellout too, and she's a part of the parliament, and she's black.
No.
She's in the UK, but she's doing this whole get these Africans out of UK too, and she got
See?
accepted. I'll shoot you something from her. She's pretty
Okay.
interesting herself, but she's like the Candace Owens in the UK,
Right.
pretty much.
Okay, well, we got them everywhere. Mm-hmm.
It's that mentality, though. It's that same mentality.
Mm-hmm. That if I just
But
be white enough, white people will love me.
yeah,
If I'm
facts.
just white enough.
Sister Smart, my phone's gonna die right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna go inside my home and charge it, and then I'll get back up
Okay.
alive. Okay, sister. Have you back
Okay,
up?
honey.
Because I have a
Bye.
piece I have a piece. Smart. I have a piece I want to read out that I did for this one video, and I got flagged
Uh-huh.
earlier, so I gotta read it. I gotta read it differently. I gotta put all the TikTok. I didn't even use any profanity, but I made the analogy of the like purebred dogs, like pedigrees, and
Uh-huh.
like how we want to separate ourselves from being like the true black or whatever,
Right.
and keep other people, you know, that they're not the as pure as them. So I made an
Right.
analogy, a good one, and I wrote it down, but they flagged me, so
Ooh.
I had it. But I want to read it out to you. I want to see what you think. Okay.
Okay, honey.
I'll hit you up in a bit. Okay. Thank you, sister.
Okay.